All right, so we are on Google Earth. We have a day on fractions, and right now this is the beginning of a kid's address, and I'm not going to tell you the rest of it, but let's say that it was like 93 degrees, 22 minutes, and 5 seconds. All right. Anyway, if I wanted to go to this spot on Google Earth, you can't just type this into your search bar, but you could if it was a decimal. So what I'm trying to show you is how do you change your address, which is in latitude, longitude, into a decimal. And you can just type in this decimal, and it'll take you in instantly to that spot. All right. Now, to show you what I'm talking about, I want you to go to Google Earth again, and I want you to type in this crazy decimal, 15.298693, comma, 19.429661. I'm going to hit pause while you type that in and zoom in. Zoom, super zoom all the way in on that sucker, and you will see a pretty cool place on the Earth. All right, so why don't they take super HD pictures like that all over the entire planet? It would take a long time. Okay, what else? Probably way more expensive to take HD kind of pictures because they have so much more memory. How about this? Do you think there might be some security issues? I mean, what if you could have pictures that are that crisp? They say that the government is capable, from a spy satellite or a spy plane, of taking pictures that are so detailed that you can see somebody's shoelaces. Like they can zoom in on your shoelaces from the sky. Okay? Yeah, it's true. So now, why don't they post all of those? Well, there's a little bit of scary factor, and some of it's just privacy factor. Like, you know, if you're sunbathing naked in your backyard because you know nobody can see you, but then there's actually a satellite picture. There actually are a lot of pictures of naked people on Google Earth. I'm not going to show you where. But it's because, if you think about it, if there's there's 7 billion people in the world, and you take pictures, eventually you're going to come across people that are naked. So anyway, there's especially the street level pictures. A lot of those, they have like a van that's driving around and just taking pictures. And it catches people in all kinds of unusual situations. So,
and then you can report it. There's a guy,
yes, and they do blur it out if they find it, because they don't want, a lot of people don't want to be shown naked on the entire universe. Okay, so I want you to know how this works as a fraction. Of course, this ties into what we're doing today because these are fractions. So right now, would you please shut your iPad, put the lid on it. You can open it back up in a bit, but not right now. Because otherwise it's just too fascinating and you won't be able to understand what I'm telling you because you'll only be listening with half of an ear. Okay, upside down so that I know that you won't be tempted. Thank you. All right, so your iPad is shut? Good. Now take a look at the board. This kid's address right here would be 44 point something. Now how do I get the decimal for it? That's why I had you take your graphing calculator out. Grab a graphing calculator, and I want you to think for a second. Degrees are kind of like hours. Because the next thing, these are called minutes, and these are called seconds. Do you get that hours are like the big unit of time compared to minutes compared to seconds? All right, so then, can anybody smart figure out, this is really this plus this plus this. So 44 plus something, who can figure out what we should type in?
Oh.
What do you think?
Would you convert that to hours?
So you're going to say 55 minutes would be, yes, 55 over 60, good, and then what?
5 over 10.
Nope, and that's where everybody gets it wrong. It's 5 over something. Think for a second. Nope. Don't just randomly tell me numbers. Think. What should that be? That's called seconds. Yes. How'd you get 3,600? Because there's 3,600 what's in a what? Seconds in a hour. Okay. Would you please type that in? 44 plus 55 over 60 plus 3 over 3600, you will get, and use parentheses around the fractions, you will get a big decimal. No, don't, just do it with this one first. Let's make sure that you actually found the right one here. 44.91, and you won't be very accurate if you only do the first two decimals. 91 what? Good enough. Okay. If you go up like 5 decimal places, you'll be fine. All right? That's how you do it. Now, I asked you to write down your address. Would you please now take your address, which is at something comma something, change it to a decimal. Then you can type that decimal into the search bar, and Google Earth will take you instantly to your house. The reason that that's better is that if you wanted to, for instance, find the Great Pyramid of Giza, the Great Pyramid of Giza, if you type that into your search bar, it will not actually bring you to the Great Pyramid of Giza. It'll bring you kind of close-ish, but it won't actually bring you there. You have to type in its exact latitude and longitude to go exactly to the Great Pyramid of Giza. So unless you know where it is and you know where to zoom, it won't work.
How do you know the latitude and longitude?
Because on the bottom of, okay, if somebody wants to tell you a place to go, like the Pyramid of Giza, I shouldn't just say type in Pyramid of Giza, because you won't go exactly to the right spot. You'll have to zoom all over the place to try to find it. All right. There is another cool one that I want to show you that I've got the decimal for it. I've calculated it. It is really cool. All right. I want you to go to davidserver.com. Yep. Why not? It only costs 12 bucks, and if you wanted to have, for instance, GeorgeFlynn.com, whatever your name is, I don't want to say anybody's students' names on the recording here, but if you want yourname.com, it's kind of smart. Because let's say you decide to run for president someday, wouldn't it be kind of important to own your own name? Otherwise, somebody else can grab your name. It's 12 bucks per year. DavidServer.com is blocked? That is wrong. Are you serious? Some of you guys it worked? Well, try typing in your little code on the blocked thing and see if it lets you in then. Well, how come hers works? All right, how about this? Let's say half the class has my website blocked, which is weird. I made this little presentation because I spoke in Eden Prairie, and I found a cool place to show you. It's under Idea 4. So if you can go to davidserver.com, go to Idea 4. Would you read me that number right there? And I'll tell you. Yep. I'll tell you the address for those of you that it's blocked. Read. Ready? 50.01 0 552 comma negative 110.113.821. Thank you. Everybody go there right now on Google Earth. It is pretty cool. And yes, if you've gone to the website, my website, you can just copy this, use the copy feature on your iPad to select it and then copy it and then paste it. That would work. But otherwise, you can just type it in. Yes, it's in Canada. Now, I looked this one up, and believe it or not, there are websites where people believe that this that you're zooming in on was made by aliens. No, you're not looking in the right spot then.
Yeah, there's no face.
Do you see the face carved into the mountain? Okay, if you get lost, research. Just tap it in again and hit search and see where it brings you. All right. Now, do you see the little box? You got to find the little box Zoom in on the box. Do you see the face? Now you're in too close. See it? Doesn't it sort of look like an Indian with a headdress? All right, go back out. Tap this and hit search again.
Find the Wikipedia W. It'll be by that.
See the little box? Zoom in on the box. You see the face?
Whoa.
Isn't that cool? Now that, for example, doesn't have an address. So if I'm going to tell you where it is, I got to use latitude and longitude to tell you. Second. Let's go like this. Search. Just wait for it. Now see that?
Well, maybe it's
See the
just
face?
like a coincidence.
Zoom in on.
Yeah.
Now, scientists argue that we tend as human beings to look for order when there's chaos. Like this is just a mountain range, and we just happen to see a face there. Because there's so much chaos that if you look at enough crazy looking mountain faces, one of them's going to look like an Indian with a headdress, okay? And so that's the scientific explanation, is it's probably just random. It happens to just look like an Indian. But there are people who really believe that this was carved in there by aliens because they have found other pictures. Like, for instance, this was an interesting one. They found a picture that looks a lot like this on Mars. Now, what if the same face was carved onto the planet's surface Mars and was also found in this mountain range in Canada? Would that make you think maybe there was some sort of artificial intelligence at work? It's not proof that there's aliens, but the one that's on Mars is kind of sketchy as far as it doesn't look exactly like this, but anyway, I just thought it was cool. And my point here is to show you fractions in action, so you can see that fractions are used in the real world. You can't get your Google Earth to go to the right spot unless you use your decimals. You can't get the decimals unless you know how to do the fraction conversion. No, the Google Mars doesn't exist yet.
They should make that in Google News.
Maybe they do. I just know that we don't have the app, but maybe they do have Google Jupiter.
You should be able to like go in the space.
I agree.
Can you go on Mars, actually? Yeah. There's like a road
I don't know if
You go on Mars, but I can't like.
you don't like search Mars.
Alright,
I think
Mr.
Google
Center,
Mars.
I did that thing, but the only way I could get it to work is if I did a negative before the...
Yes. If you're doing your own address, you may have not have heard this because it was a lot of craziness going on at the beginning. The negative has to be in front of your second number. For your address, you need a negative there because it has to do with north, south, east, west. Did you know you can do south this or north that when it comes to latitude and longitude? You know what I'm talking about? Latitude is like latitude. It goes like up and down. So those are either north or south of the equator, right? And then the other number, the longitude, that's either an east or a west. And if you're on where we are in the United States, it would be a negative in front of it. That gets us to west. Okay? Yeah, if you went to China, that's because you don't have a negative in yours, and that means you're on the exact opposite side. But that's kind of cool in a way. It's somebody who has the exact same exact same address as you, except they're on the exact opposite side of the world. So would that be true then, that if you actually dug a hole all the way through the Earth, and you could somehow get through the core of the Earth, which is like billions of degrees and whatever, could you pop out on the other side and be at that address? Wouldn't that be kind of cool? I'm not sure if that's right. Maybe you'd have to do a negative. I think if you did negative on the first number and positive on the second number, then I think you'd go to the opposite side of the Earth. The what?
The Nazca lines. And then like.
If you find them. There are all kinds of interesting things you can see from space.
Ooh, I went to geometry. Oh, they're not that clear though.
All right, I want you to join me and fly someplace for a minute. Well, I'm going to get a good song up for flying.
The very opposite of my house is on the border of China and Russia.
Mine's by me,
Or no, I'm just kidding. Mongolia.
All right. Shh. Everybody go to the search bar. Tap in the search bar.
I'm in the middle.
And type in this. Shh. Hey, I want you on Google Earth right now. Get there. Next, I want you in the search bar. Get there. I want you to clear out what's in the search bar. And now, are you ready? Type in this. R-O-T-O-N-D-A, rotunda, comma, F-L. R-O-T-O-N-D-A, rotunda, comma, F-L. And let's see why they named their city what they named it. And then as you fly, I'll turn on the song. Good song for flying. It's called Learning to Fly. We'll fly to a few cool places. Rotunda, R-O-T-O-N-D-A. Can you believe that rotunda, comma, F-L?
Why isn't it loading? Smash it.
It is a neighborhood that's based on a circle.
Wow.
That circle happens to be exactly 3 miles wide. No, aliens didn't build it. Humans built it. Next thing. I want you to type in, instead of just going to a normal pentagon, let's go to the Pentagon. Type in T-H-E Pentagon. P-E-N-T-H-E-O-N. The Pentagon. This is our Defense Department for the United States of America. And did it pop up for you instantly or not? If it didn't pop up for you instantly, you're seeing why that decimal would be better. But if you zoom in to the south, I'm going to pause for a second while I show you. Okay, cool. You found it. You're on it. Would you please read me the latitude and longitude? Yes, there's a Panda Express in the Pentagon. All right, read me the decimal. 38. 38, and then I'm gonna turn that down. Okay, 38, and then what's the next number? 52, and that's minutes, and then minutes is a single dash, and then the next number. Shh, don't talk. 15. What? Okay, but that's seconds. All right. Comma. What's the other number? 3 minutes 21 seconds. All right. Is that west? So we need a negative in front of that one. So, would everybody please grab your graphing calculator? Everybody, even if you've already found the Pentagon, I want you to see if you can get the decimal for this. Did you learn anything about what that is and what that is? Don't you know what to type? Because if it's minutes, it would be 52 out of what? 60, good. And if it's seconds, it would be 15 out of what? You will do the negative on the second number. Okay, 15 out of what? How many seconds are there in an hour? 3,600, yes. Somebody that's got fast fingers has probably already got that first number done. What is it? 38 point what? 87. 87 what? 0. Okay, human brains comprehend things best in chunks of 3 and 4. Did you know that's why our phone numbers are like 612-476-3924? Get what I'm saying? They're in sets of 3 or 2. So would you read me these in sets of 3? 870 and then what? 833? Thank you. Comma, and does anybody have the other part? negative 77 point. It can't be 76 because it starts with 77. See? What? Hold on.
6.98.
Did somebody read me this wrong? Was it 77 point something or not? Oh, I know what you guys are doing. You're typing it in as a negative and then you're adding a decimal to it that's positive. That would mess it up. Don't put the negative in until you're all done figuring out your calculation. Do you get what I'm saying? If you say that's negative and this is positive and this is positive, then it's going to be less than negative 77. Get what I'm saying? Okay. So it's 77 point something. Who's got it with 77 point something? Yes. 055. 277. Thank you. All right. Everybody now can just go there and you'll be at the pentagon. And hopefully that was enough review for you to get the idea of how you can use decimals to get to these latitude, longitude places. I got one more cool one for you. But I'd rather get your ideas. Where do you think would be a cool thing to see from the air that you haven't seen before? Okay, what is it?
I don't know. It's supposed to be UFO. Aliens.
Proof of aliens? Do you have the decimal for it?
I don't know. It's like
You probably have the latitude, longitude. If anybody can give us a decimal for something cool that they haven't seen before, like, for instance, I've never seen the Taj Mahal. I've heard isn't it one of the 7 wonders of the world?
yeah. It's in Agra.
What else are the 7 wonders of the world?
So what I'd like you to do, as part of your homework for tonight, is find me one cool place and find me the decimal for it. Something, comma, something. Okay? It could be the Taj Mahal. It could be one of the other 7 wonders of the world. Maybe you want to know exactly where the Twin Towers used to stand. Maybe you want to find the, I don't know, an alien in a hillside in New Mexico or something. And you will change it from degrees, minutes, seconds into a decimal. Remember, if you're in North America, you'll always have a negative on that second number. If you're over in like China, you won't. It's based on being north, south, east, or west. All right, we need to talk a little bit more about fractions. Everybody shut your iPads. I know, they're more fun, but shut your iPads. Shut. All right, just a couple little quick things that you need to know about this. Don't make me. Come on now. All right. On one of these two problems, you cross multiply. On the other, you don't. Which one do you cross multiply on? The left. That's correct. Because if you have an equals, you cross multiply. And if you do that, 3 times 12 is 36. And on the other side, you'd have the 4 times the x is 4x. And then it's easy to solve. You divide by 4, right? All right. On this kind, you do not cross multiply. You multiply across. Do you get that there's a difference there? All right. So it's 3 over 4 times 2 is 8. Now, on some problems like this, you can cross cancel, though. Here you cross multiply. Here you can cross cancel. Meaning that the 3 goes into 3 once, and the 3 goes into 12 4 times. Now, some people don't understand that, what's really going on there, so let me show it to you this way. Would you agree I can rewrite the 3 as 3 times 1? Would you agree I could write the 12 as 3 times 4? Do you get how there's now a 3 on the top and on the bottom, and therefore I can cancel it? That's what's really happening there. Okay, same idea with the 8 and the 4. How could I rewrite the 8? 2 times what? And then rewrite the 4 as the 4 times 1, and then the 4 cancels. Final answer, multiply across. 1 times 2 is 2. And on the bottom, 1 times 4 is 4. Does this guarantee that the answer will always be simplified all the way? No. But I could finish by dividing this out and saying the answer is 1/2. All right, so I just wanted to remind you about cross-canceling. That's all I needed to share with you today. That's why the lesson could be more about how to change these fractions on your iPads. So now your only homework is to take the old homework that you had and finish it. You were halfway through with it, now finish the rest of them. Okay? Honestly, I think the rest of the assignment is probably easier than the first day you did yesterday. So, all right. Now, at this point, since I did show you some cool stuff about Google Earth and I asked you to find a cool place and give me the decimal for it, if you want to do that as part of your homework right now, instead, fly around on Google Earth, go ahead. But you got to have both parts done by tomorrow. All right?
That's something I know.